还有5秒到达战场，请做好准备。
绝不会有什么好事。
全军出击！
我向来知道，死亡是不会被当成儿戏的。尝尝这招。喜欢我的龙吗？感受死亡的触碰。受苦吧！我喜欢在登革热的气息中迎接早晨。尝尝这招。战争加起火，绝不会有什么好事。我向来知道，死亡是不会被当成儿戏的。知道会怕就对了。别嚷嚷，静静体会瘟疫的滋味。
Your team has destroyed a tower.
我喜欢在登革热的气息中迎接早晨。
An ally has been defeated. An enemy has been defeated. An ally has been defeated.
喜欢我的龙吗？我向来知道，死亡是不会被当成儿戏的。不言而绕。
An ally has been defeated. An enemy has been defeated. Double tap. Shut down. Your team has destroyed a tower.
有苦求。尝尝这招。说完来来。我喜欢在登革热的气息中迎接早晨。
An enemy has been defeated.
感受死亡的
a tower.
死亡是不会被当成儿戏的。
An enemy has been defeated. An enemy has been defeated.
尽管跑吧！战争加饥荒，绝不会有什么好事。
An enemy has been defeated. Your tower has been destroyed.
我在改革的气息中迎接早晨。 喜欢我的龙吗？我想来知道，死亡是不会被当成儿戏的。
You have been defeated. An enemy has been defeated. An ally has been defeated. Ultimate. An enemy has been defeated.
我你的血泪吧！
Double tap. Ultimate.
战争加饥荒，绝不